Welcome to Convicted Hearts. I am your host, Jen, and I am here with a great follow-up that everybody's been wanting to see with the lovely Monica. And who do you have with you today, Monica?
This is my husband, Temay.
That was good.
Temay, nice to see you, and so glad to see that you're home. You know, we've all been rooting for you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I feel like I was so invested in your story.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So I guess we can backtrack a tiny bit, starting with how long the sentence was that you got. Teammate, was how long again?
I got 150 months for leading organized crime.
Okay. And then, Monica, we had talked about what that was like for you, you know, what that was like waiting for each other. And I've never talked with a couple, you know, that made it through, and you're home together now. Can you let us know what that was like leading up to the process was leading up to coming home? You knew you were going to get out. What were you starting to feel for both of you?
Go ahead, babe.
Go ahead.
So, I think I had told you that they had denied his home monitoring, like his house arrest. Okay. So then I had actually contacted the supervisor for that program, for the GRE program. It's called GRE.
Right.
And so graduated reentry release. Yeah. And so they had denied him for that. And then I contacted the supervisor, and then I wrote her an email. You know how I am with emails. I told you about that.
Yeah.
And so she ended up approving it. And so then he was able to come home 6 months before he was on house arrest. Yeah.
Arrest. Okay.
And so at first I knew he was coming home because I talked to her, and she's the supervisor, like she's the head honcho. So I'm like, oh, you're coming home. But he didn't believe it. Like he was in denial. He was like, they're not going to let me out. They're not going to let me out. Like these people don't like me.
Right? They're not trying to help me.
Yeah, that's exactly what he would say. They're not trying to help me. They don't care, you know? And then I'm like, no, they're going to let you out. Like, I need to start buying your stuff. What do you need? Right. And then I just started buying stuff prior to his release. And then, man.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. I bet it did feel that way, right? Like, as long as you had been there, you probably were really thinking, these people ain't trying to help me go home.
You just get down, you know, sometimes you get down and out in there.
Yeah.
You just start thinking negative, but, you know, you got to just give all glory to God and be thankful for everything every day.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I hear a lot of times with wives, they're like super stressed out for obvious reasons right before their husband's about to come home, trying to make sure everything's perfect. Did you go through that sort of thing, Monica? Like, oh, I got to make sure everything's just so.
No, I kind of like, cause he knows all our finances. You know, I've always been very open with him about our finances. He will help me, like telling me, oh, okay, well, make sure you take care of this first, and then take care of that, and then take care of me. So he knew what our finances looked like. So I wasn't worried about that. And then he's really like simple. He's basically like, just get me some shoes, some clothes so that I can work, and, you know, my hygiene, and I'll be good, you know. And then when I start working, we'll get whatever we want after that.
The basics. And what caught my ear even more is something, you know, that I can go to work in. Because, you know, that shows somebody's intention. Like, hey, I plan on getting out there and working.
Yeah.
How long was it before you were able to find work?
It took about
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Yeah. When he didn't have a job in a couple of days, he was freaking out. And I'm like, just wait. Like, you can wait a couple months. It's fine, you know. But he was freaking out.
Yeah. Yeah. Upon your release, Temay and Monica, what was that like, those moments, you know, he walks out, I don't know, he walks out of the door or gets dropped off from the van. How did that go? Can you like run that down?
So because he got off on the ankle monitor, what happened? They took you?
to get the release to the DOC office.
So
Okay.
you rode a bus or what?
Let's put in the van.
The van, yeah.
From the facility, they took him to the DOC office.
Mm-hmm.
And then the DOC officer was like, I'll call you when he's here so you can come pick him up. And the DOC office from my house is literally less than 10 minutes away.
Okay.
It's like down the street. Yeah. And so, excuse me. So I was freaking out because he's like, he should be here by like 10, 11. And I didn't talk to him all morning, like the whole morning, because he left there like around what, 7:00 in the morning? Like 7:00, they called me and they were like, hey, he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, and then I didn't hear from him. I didn't hear from the DOC officer until like probably 11 or 12.
Okay.
And I was like crying. I was like, what happened? Like something happened. He hasn't called me and he told me he was going to call me around 10.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to talk to him since 7 a.m. The DOC officer didn't call me or anything. And so I was like freaking out. I was like, I don't know what is going to happen, but I had everything set up. I was just waiting for that call. And then he finally calls me like around 11, 12. And he's like, hey, he's ready. So come get him. So I just smashed over there. And then I went up to the office, but everything's COVID. So the guy met me outside with him. And then I just like hugged him. And the guy was like, he was like, oh, these are the rules. You still have to sign this. And I signed everything. And then he was like, let's go. And then we just ran to the car.
That's right.
Yeah.
I always love watching videos like that, those first few moments, you know what I mean? Like, I can only imagine the anticipation of just embracing each other,
Yeah.
I bet it was a nice embrace for you as well, Temay. You waited a long time.
Yeah, I was happy to get out of there. They let me free.
Yes, that's right.
I had to go home, and then I just give all glory to God. I was so happy.
Yeah, that's what's up. You guys had some time to spend together, I'm sure. And like, what did it feel like trying to, get back into the family, like daily, you have kids. So, was it a little bit challenging at first to like get into a routine, or did things fall into place pretty easily?
You
You go. You like to talk.
Sorry, I'm just getting over this cough.
Okay.
So, I mean, it was a little difficult because the boys aren't used to like, certain rules and stuff. More because, I worked a lot, and so they're mostly at home alone.
Yeah.
And so now that dad's home, dad likes rules. Dad likes the house a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
Before I wasn't too picky about them waking up or doing like their chores or their bed, things like that. He's very OCD, so he likes everything, spiffy, clean, and everything. So it was challenging for them to get used to, especially because they're teenagers. But because he's been in their lives their whole life, it was easy for them to just like snap into basically doing whatever is needed of them to do, like their chores and stuff. So there were definitely some adjustments, but it's for the best for them.
Right.
Because they definitely needed that, especially because I work I was working all day. And so they didn't have that attention that they needed for them to be more responsible. And he definitely taught them that.
Right. Especially teenage boys. I think that's super important. Yeah. I get it. Like when the dad's in the house, there's a male presence, things change. That's really good.
Yeah.
They need it. Though. They need it. They need it bad.
Yeah. I bet. Well, see, that's great that the two of you can come together and do that, like make the family tighter.
Yeah.
Now, I gotta ask, what was your first meal coming out? Was there something you just had to have?
Yeah, I asked her to make tacos.
Yes. Okay.
No, babe, we ate tacos and we just kicked it all down. We had a good time.
Nice.
Yeah. He definitely wanted to try a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I made him tacos, Mexican tacos.
Yes.
Street tacos.
Can't beat them, right? Yeah. Was there at least a little bit of time you guys got to have together before like family starts to come and visit, or was it sort of all at once? Everybody comes.
So just that day, we actually got to spend time together.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were going to leave the kids at my sister's for like a week, I said, or like a couple days. But he was like, no, bring the boys home. Like, I want all of us to be together.
Okay.
And so they were wanting to see him too. Like, they were like, they've been waiting for him forever, so
Sure.
I brought them home. And so it was just us for a couple of weeks. And then after that, and then his dad came a couple of days later and his family, but mostly it's always just been us.
Yeah.
We've visited family and stuff like that. And we've had family get-togethers, but that wasn't until after he was off the ankle monitor.
Okay. What are some of that's good to know. What are some of the, like, when you're on house arrest, some of the rules that they want you to, like, be home during certain hours? Is it stuff like that?
Yeah. So he had a curfew. 10 o'clock was his curfew. 9 o'clock. It was 9 o'clock. And then we had to get pre-approved of our outings. Okay. So he wasn't able to go anywhere unless we put in the request a week in advance. So I'm sitting here having to plan out our week a week in advance. So it's 7 days.
Yeah, that for like having kids too. That sounds crazy trying to plan a week in advance, but.
Yeah. So I would put in like outings on the weekends, and then I'd be like, where do you want to go this weekend? And he'd be like, I don't know, put anywhere. And then I'm like, oh, what am I gonna put? Like, I don't know what to do, So we had kind of like a little bit of like, it was frustrating.
We just barbecued all summer. That's all we did.
That's right.
We went to all the parks and barbecued.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then also, like, we had to make sure that if we were to see anybody or anybody was to visit, they had a background check. So we couldn't really like see that many people because, of course, not everybody's willing to do that,
Right.
But the only ones that were okay with, like, my mom, my sister, his dad, things like that. And then other than that, it was pretty difficult. He had to take pictures all the time of everywhere we were. He had to be in constant communication by text and calling with his specialist.
Yeah.
And so he knew where we were at all times. And so, and if we had no signal, we couldn't stay. Like, we had to leave because he has to be in constant communication. And if we didn't put it on the outing, we could not go. So, like, I had to make sure that I had gas in the car because if we didn't say we were going to the gas station, we can't go. So,
gas station. Okay.
Yeah, no, you can't make any stops anywhere unless it's approved.
Okay. Yeah. Now, how is it for the family, like extended family? You mentioned, your mom or sisters. Did everyone sort of rally around you guys, embrace you, and was it just like
no, they were hating?
Stop! No, they
were hating on me.
Are you serious?
No. Yeah, they shocked I'm home. Tell them the truth.
Well, when he was in there, they were. I told you.
I know how it goes.
Yeah, they're like, oh, he's good. No, I don't want to hear that. The same energy.
Oh, my mom's gonna see this.
I don't care who sees it.
Shout out to Mom.
They know what it is.
No,
the same energy.
My mom is very, very impressed, very happy. She's very, very happy. This is her favorite son-in-law.
Mm.
So
that's right. Like I see that it's working out well with the family, and I don't know. I just love that. I love to see that. Yeah, with the boys, are they doing any sports events or anything that you guys are able to attend together now?
Oh yeah, he keeps them in sports. Like, they went from football, then they went to wrestling. Now they're back in football. He makes sure their grades are up. Like me, I've never really like I said, I've always worked and stuff, and like that was my main like focus is working and taking care of the house. So it's like he kind of like just went in head first and took care of it, and like the boys are on top of everything now.
That's pretty nice. Now, starting work, what was that? I'm sure some of the everyday things you've been through, it's hard to break certain routines and things. How was it once you started work, Temay? Was Was there anything that was sort of like triggering for you, or it just felt pretty natural?
I don't know. That's just hard.
Yeah, I bet.
Damn. The real world, you gotta, yeah, but you just gotta get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just getting used to it. I just gotta keep doing it like I'm used to it, and then yeah. I'm like, damn, people do this every day. I can't believe it.
Yeah. I know it's crazy, right? But
Yeah, that's real life.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's real gangster shit.
right. Exactly. What is there something that, special that's taken place that you guys can say, like, have you gotten a puppy, a car, went on a vacation? Has anything, like that happened for you since you've been home?
Yeah, we got a truck, and then yeah, we just been blessed. God been blessing us. We've been winning every day. We're winning.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
that's
just,
right.
yeah, I just feel happy to be home.
Absolutely. That's
Yeah,
something I know, Monica, when we had talked before, I'm like, I just remember I have been like, I just feel God all over this, like with you guys. The love was real. It wasn't nothing fake about it. So I feel like God's just going to continue to bless you guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was finally able to get a big car like I wanted because I couldn't afford it before, but now that he's home, I can. So
That's nice, huh? Were you
yeah,
surprised, or did you know what was happening?
I was happy. Yeah, well, we went to choose it together, like we planned on it.
Mhm.
So then we were finally able to go, and we were like, man, it was nice. It was nice being able to buy a car together and choosing it, and yeah, it was nice.
That is nice. Yeah. What are some of your future goals that you guys have now, that you're together, and what do you want to do in the future?
Go to Vegas.
He also has plans to start our own business. So he's been like really like researching and looking into it. And he's like, I want you to take these classes. I want you to do this and that because,
Mhm.
he wants me to run it for him. But he wants us to have a family business.
That's the way to go if you can do it. Keep it in house and keep it in the family. Keep your money right there. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I'm so glad to hear this. And, a lot of people wanted to hear how you guys are doing. And he's like, hey, whatever happened, Monica, her husband make it home. I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. A lot of people wanted to hear how you guys were and send their love and support.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
What advice, before we close out, would you have? Maybe each of you can answer this, for maybe a wife who's anticipating her husband coming home, and then for a husband who's about to come home. What's the best advice you could give them?
I say pray. Pray, just have faith, yeah. And always believe and always have hope. And always know that you're a winner.
That's right.
Yeah.
Positive mindset, it sounds like, too. Yeah.
Yeah, that everything's gonna go as planned.
Mm-hmm.
Keep
Right.
believing.
Yeah, pray for each other. It's very important. Don't just pray for yourself, but pray for your spouse that whatever comes in front of them, like whatever obstacle that you can't help them with, that they can overcome it on their own, and then that you're able to have the tools to help them overcome it,
Yeah.
Definitely, because it's not just financially, it's not just, physically, but it's also mentally. Mentally you have to prepare yourself. So
Right.
it's really hard. Not just in like at first I was like, oh, this is gonna be easy. Like he's gonna come home, we're gonna be good, but mentally, there's things that have happened that like with him in prison, it's like he has to prepare himself for the real world. And I wasn't like, I didn't think that at first. I didn't think about that. And me too, like I've been alone for so long. It's like mentally I had to prepare myself. Like, okay, I have to do things how he likes too, not just how I like. Like there's certain things that I have to prepare for him that I'm not used to doing that. Like I'm just used to myself, but I have to prepare him for his day because he's not used to doing these kind of things,
Yeah.
So I have to make sure he has all the tools that he needs to be able to be successful that day, And it wasn't easy, but we got our stuff together. We got it down correctly.
It sounds like it. Like that sounds like the perfect, basically like recipe for setting each other up, for success, having each other's back. Even the way you said, like, I got to make sure he has what he needs to start his day. That's looking out for each other,
Yeah.
And I think that's really important. But I'm just so grateful you guys tapped in and we were able to do this. And, I just want to obviously send you guys my prayers and appreciation. And it's so good to see you guys together and hear all these wonderful things.
Thank you, Jen.
Those of you that watched today, again, this is Monica with her husband who has come home. And we just want to say welcome home, and see, there you go. So many blessings, respect, all that love sent your guys' way. Thank you for tapping in with Convicted Hearts and letting us know you're.
Thank you.
Remember, keep your heart convicted.